One of the main goals of Nei Qi Gong is actually empowering the three main energy centers, lower Dantian, middle Dantian, and higher Dantian. They are all inside the body, just to clarify this, and to balance them. Many people think that Nei Qi Gong is about actually just doing a Qi emission, which is, in a certain sense, it is a manifestation of a certain degree of internal growth, internal energy growth. But the real goal goes behind that, beyond that, and it take us into other perceptions of life and of ourselves. It really opens up other possibilities in terms of being a human beings here on planet Earth. And in this video, I would like to touch something which could be a little bit counterintuitive, because we think that our spiritual practice, it's strictly related to, you know, those 45 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, whatever that we invest into some kind of program to develop the vital energy. But what I notice, even myself in the past, and life is probably the great teacher, as my teacher says, there's no greater teacher than living. Some of us, and I think most people interested in spirituality, they tend to shade away all the practical life responsibilities and to escape, so to speak, into the practice, looking for something else which is not the word and the experience that we are living. But if we want to be fully integrated in our life, I think that our practice should also be supported. It should be also supported by a certain kind of conduct and a responsibility, being responsible for our own life, which means that instead of being a little bit childish and just thinking that growing spiritually on the vital energy field involves just sitting down or standing and doing our energy work, the real thing, in my opinion, happens when we experience life in its totality. So when we don't reject the word, we look after everything that it is needed on a practical level. Could even be a business thing, could be a relationship kind of issue, could be our own job, could be taking care of family, and we might see the tendencies of escaping all those things. We might even spot our limitations in terms of handling our own emotions. So my opinion and my way of looking at the Nei Qi Gong and Qigong in general, it's about the evolution of the human being, which is not a work that it ends only during our practice. It really requires lots of willingness of growth, of growing, which is already a good foundation. Being honest with oneself and not overlook certain things, trying to balance those three aspects. And those three aspects, they could be related and explained as expressed in different parts of our life. For instance, the lower dantian, located below the navel, 3-4 fingers inside the body, related to the action, to the physical body. The middle dantian, sternum, inside the sternum, let's say, related to emotions, to feeling. The higher dantian, related to clarity and to thinking, inside the brain. And I would like to say in this way, in a more evolved human being, although I don't like to make this distinction between all of us, because we are all here doing our best with what we can, and some of us try to push that what we can a bit beyond the usual laziness that we have in our daily life. The goal is to act to make sure that these three centers, they act all together. So, and they are all balanced at the same time. Because usually a human being thinks something, feels something else, acts in a different way. And this generates lots of conflict, lack of effectiveness in what we do, unbalance, because we are maybe prioritizing a certain aspect. We are more mental. We are all mental in this world. We are more mental rather than, being also feeling others, feeling, being empathic, and we might even lack actions. So what I'm trying to say with this video, it's a bit of a reflection. I would like that we all reflect, especially my students or anybody who come across this video, who could be interested in what I'm saying, who might resonate with what I'm saying, is actually to not thinking that the energy practice that we do is the most important thing that we do in our life for our growth and even for our energy growth. What I mean by this is that if I look after life in a very careful and attentive way, and I try not to unbalance myself towards certain stuff that could be more appealing, such as mysticism, spiritual life, if I manage to be more balanced and look after everything that life puts in front of me, regardless of what it is, and treat it in the same way, bringing that integrity, that awareness that we're talking about, that willingness of growing and discovering ourselves more and more, even when we do our energy practice, it will manifest itself in it. And another interesting aspect is that these three centers, they are never balanced, like life. Life is always changing, we're always changing. Sometimes we have more physical issues, sometimes we're more in emotional field, let's say, emotional moment. Sometimes maybe we are more in a mental moment, maybe planning strategy and all the rest of it. So using a lot the thinking aspect. And we are never balanced in life. So the work that we do as energy practitioner, I think it's quite effective, because what we want to do is to balance our life through the qigong or neigong practice, and to grow, empower these aspects of our life to manifest in the world and be an expression of those elements. But this is not very easy sometimes to do, as I said, because life keep on changing, we keep on changing. But I think that we are quite lucky, especially because we come across, especially talk like this for my students, we come across something that really works. And how it works will be the question related to everything that I just said, that it means more look after your life in every aspect, embrace everything, and don't reject everything, and don't unbalance yourself towards one particular aspect. Well, it works in the sense that when we work with vital energy, which might sound like a concept for many people listening to this video, because unfortunately vital energy is more of an abstract thing than an actual experience, which is actually quite powerful. I don't really know how, when the game ends, because the more I keep on practicing, the more I see growing that aspect. And my teachers have been doing this for more than me, they are far away into this journey. But when we work with vital energy, we have to understand that we are working with maybe I will say a big word, but let me pass this, with the base of existence. We are talking with the vibrational force that it is at the base of our physical, emotional, mental aspect. So when we do a qigong practice or neigong practice, what we're really doing is trying to bring order in our life, and especially in the beginning, maybe you do with the more physical aspect, such as qigong, first level of Nei Qi Gong. We start to open the channels, and we make this energy flow in the body, which is not that strong, of course, like when we do advanced programs. But what we are doing is we are impacting, we are working on the base of these three elements, which also turns into a human change. A human being change. This is for me the correct way of seeing our path. It's not to achieve superpower, it's actually to work on ourselves and working straight from the base. And we see these changes reflected in our life. I could see it in myself, probably people around me could say more about this, along these 7 years or more that I've been practicing daily. But we have something very powerful. And I will give an example to something else that we might approach to solve certain issues in our life. Let's say that we have a mental issue, some kind of conflict. People go to psychology, psychotherapist. Physical issue, people go to physiotherapist. I'm not saying that those two things are wrong, but what I'm saying is that there is another way of approaching this, which could solve certain issue. Of course, if we have a broken bones or we have something which is out of place, we might need some help. But what we're doing here, it's using something that really works, not because I'm selling here anything, my students could say for it, to apply a change in our life and to bring some balance. This work, which we do in the qigong, neigong practice, should also be supported, and this is the kind of theme of this video that I wanted to share with you, by daily action, by the way we interact with the world, by the willingness of change, of seeing our little immaturities that we have, by taking action to change things, by looking after all the aspects of our life in a very balanced way, while at the same time, as lucky people as we really are, that we are doing this Nei Qi Gong practice, we can make a change in the foundation of this level of existence, which we know more or less here. So if there is a takeaway to bring with you in this video, it's this: don't overlook any aspect of your life. In my personal life, you might know that in the YouTube channel I published this video about this Kundalini experience, which I'm gonna probably talk about in the next video, in the sense of what I did that it really worked for me to help me deal with this experience, which is not something that it happens one day. It's something that it comes, stays with you, but it has a peak which lasts several days. So I will share that. But that was a form of imbalance in one sense. So we always have to look a way to bring order in our life in any aspect. And as Qigong and Neigong practitioner, we also have a very fundamental tool that is working on the roots of our own existence.